What's up, space pirates? This is your captain, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster, and in the end, it wasn't hard at all for Stalker 2, The Heart of Chornobyl to surpass the player count of Dragon Age the Veilguard, having done it immediately on their launch day, which was just a random Wednesday.
Listen, punk. To me, you're nothing but dog shit, you understand?
Probably the most impressive part of Stalker 2's accomplishment is the fact that a ton of players are still waiting for the launch bugs to get worked out. The reviewers for the game are reporting that there have been glitching issues, but when I reported on this in my video yesterday, a bunch of people commented saying that the issues were being overblown or were basically non-existent. So this game is having muted launch numbers, and it is still already beating Dragon Age.
Come on, man, bring it! Come on, bring it!
Now, this might come as a shock to those members of the modern audience out there who think that what people really want in video games is to be lectured about pronouns and shit like that, but in truth, it seems as though the majority of gamers are really hungry for games which drip with traditionally masculine energy, where they skip all the lectures and all you do is pick up some weapons and kick some nasty monster's ass.
This is my boomstick!
Give me a hell yeah!
So yeah, Stalker 2 hit a peak concurrent player count of about 113,000 players. We don't have any official reports on sales numbers yet, of course, but I'm willing to bet that it hits 1 million copies sold much sooner than Dragon Age, despite the fact that it hasn't released on PS5 yet. The only thing standing in the way of this game reaching the top spot of the month appears to be Farming Simulator 25, which hit 135,000 concurrent players on Steam at its max. But with the launch weekend of Stalker 2 coming up, it's very conceivable that it will top that number. And it must be tough for Dragon Age defenders out there to watch as an actually popular game thrives while they drown in the shadow of growing obscurity.
Drowning is for pussies, alright? Don't be a pussy.
But alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've seen a ton of new subscribers lately, so it's time to ask the following question.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
There are now 90,000 space pirate a-holes in this Buccaneer crew, and with every 1,000 subscribers, as is the custom on this channel, we add a new ship to the fleet in order to house the newcomers. This time, we are adding the Epoch from Chrono Trigger, which was recommended to me by one of you. If any of you have suggestions for new ships to add to the fleet in the future, drop them into the comment section below. Super chats get bumped to the top of that list, and keep in mind that once we hit that 100,000 subscriber mark, that Death Star in the background here will be completed. But in any event, I want to thank everyone for being here.
I knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
But alright, so Stalker 2's launch has been a bit of a mixed bag with all the reports of problems with the game, but as I said earlier, I was inundated with comments in my video yesterday from gamers who said they had been playing the game for hours and it was okay. And I gotta say, I will trust gamers any day over game journalists who might freak out over some small little thing. Unless it's a Ubisoft game or something like that, of course, from one of their major corporate sponsors. Then they will ignore it and pretend like everything is hunky-dory. But Stalker 2 has a very positive rating over on Steam right now. I've got another game that I'm finishing up right now. It should be done by the weekend, but after the launch weekend, if Stalker 2 is still sporting a pretty solid rating like this one, I'm gonna give it a go. I've never played anything in the franchise before, so I'm going into it completely cold, but in my mind, that'll most likely make the experience even more fun. But anyhow, it sounds like this game has a shot at hitting 1 million copies sold pretty quickly. In fact, it may even manage it well before Dragon Age did it, despite the fact that Stalker 2 is not on the PlayStation yet, and despite the fact that it is on Game Pass over on the Xbox. Considering the number of players that we're seeing on its launch, which, once again, that was just a random Wednesday, and they got about 113,000 players concurrently on Steam. But considering those numbers, my expectation is the game will sell well over 500,000 copies on Steam alone by the end of the month. The whole thing has the ability to cascade once word of mouth improves. I imagine there are a ton of people poring over the Steam reviews to see how bad the bugs are, and they're watching reviews on YouTube, and the mostly positive sentiment has a real chance to bring those players in. I suspect that by the end of the first weekend, the game will have toppled Farming Simulator as more and more people dip their toe in the water and leave good reviews. And over on the Xbox side of things, the game sounds like it might actually be selling better than Dragon Age, despite the fact that it's on Game Pass. Apparently, not everyone wants or uses that service, or maybe they're just unaware that the game is on there. In any event, my contacts in the retail world provided me some numbers comparing the sales data of Dragon Age on its launch versus the sales data of Stalker 2, and things are looking pretty favorable for Stalker, even though it only came out on one console. My first contact is someone who has access to the sales data of 9 stores who sell video games, and in those 9 stores, they've sold 67 copies of Stalker 2 on its launch day. Now compare that to Dragon Age, which sold 49 copies in its first full week in those 9 stores. And then I've got another contact who has the sales data for over a dozen stores, and in those stores they have sold 133 copies of Stalker, which is a hell of a lot more than what they sold for Dragon Age. In fact, they've almost exactly doubled that number. After their first week of sales for the Veilguard, they had sold 67 copies of that stinker. And then I have someone else who runs 17 retail stores which sell video games, and in those stores they've sold 137 copies of Stalker 2 on launch day. That is over 8 copies per store, which absolutely blows up Dragon Age. That game sold only 83 copies over its first full week. My last contact then runs 5 retail stores, and in those stores, Stalker didn't sell quite as well as the others. After launch day, they've sold 27 copies of Stalker 2, and Dragon Age sold 41 copies after its first full week. So, it's still very possible that Stalker topples Dragon Age in those stores as well, but it will likely need a few more days to do it. But one thing is clear, this game is a much stronger draw than the Veilguard. But I'm going to leave it there. Do you think Stalker 2 will beat Farm Simulator's player count numbers by the end of the weekend? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.